Unveiling the Struggle, the top 10 poorest countries in the world. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Today, we're diving into an incredibly important and eye-opening topic, the top 10 poorest countries in the world. So, sit back, grab a coffee, and let's get into the details. 10. Madagascar. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Madagascar. Since gaining independence from France in 1960, Madagascar has faced a rocky road with political instability, violent coups, and disputed elections. In 2019, Andry Rajoelina was elected president, riding in on promises to fight corruption, reduce poverty, and boost the economy. Unfortunately, those were mostly just promises. Today, about 75% of the population lives in poverty. Economic growth is slow, and inflation is hovering around 10%. Madagascar has faced more than its fair share of challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic wreaked havoc on the economy, and in 2021, the UN declared that Madagascar was experiencing the world's first famine caused by climate change. Things didn't get any better in 2022 when the war in Ukraine caused grain prices to skyrocket, pushing the island's food prices through the roof and deepening the people's suffering. 9. Chad. Next up, we have Chad. Despite having Africa's 10th largest oil reserves, poverty in Chad is pervasive. Most of the profits from the country's 2003 oil boom were squandered by its autocratic leader, Idriss Déby, on internal conflicts and suppressing dissent. When Déby was killed in 2021, a military council led by his son, Mohamed Idriss Déby, took over. The constitution was suspended, the government and parliament were dissolved, and Mahamat remains the transitional head of state, supported by the military. 8. Liberia. Now let's talk about Liberia, Africa's oldest republic, which has also been one of its poorest for many years. The spotlight was bright when former football star George Weah was elected president in 2018. Unfortunately, his tenure was marked by high inflation, unemployment, and negative economic growth. It was only in 2023 that he was defeated by the opposition leader and former vice president, Joseph Boakai. Things might be looking up for Liberia, though, as the economy started to recover in 2022, with growth projected to reach about 4% by 2024. 7. Malawi. Known as one of Africa's smallest nations, Malawi's economy heavily relies on rain-fed agriculture, making it particularly vulnerable to weather-related shocks. Food insecurity is a massive issue, especially in rural areas. Since gaining independence from Britain in 1964, Malawi has enjoyed relatively stable governments. However, in 2020, a major political shakeup occurred when the Constitutional Court annulled former President Peter Mutharika's election victory due to vote tampering. Lazarus Chakwera, a theologian and politician, took his place and promised inclusive prosperity. Yet, substantial changes have been slow, and today Malawi faces an economic crisis with fuel shortages, skyrocketing food prices, and a rapidly devaluing currency. 6. Mozambique. Next up, we have Mozambique. This country is rich in natural resources and has had significant GDP growth, often over 7% in the past decade. Despite this, it remains deeply impoverished, grappling with severe climate events and political instability. Since 2017, northern Mozambique has also been disrupted by attacks from Islamic insurgent groups, impacting stability and growth. According to the IMF, though, the economy expanded by 7% in 2023 and is expected to continue growing at about 5% in the upcoming years. 5. Niger. Coming in at number 5 is Niger. With 80% of its territory covered by the Sahara Desert and a booming population reliant on small-scale agriculture, Niger is battling severe desertification. Food insecurity, disease, and high mortality rates are rampant. The region has also seen repeated conflicts with Islamic State affiliate Boko Haram, displacing thousands of people. In a historic moment for Niger, 2021 saw its first democratic transition of power when Mohamed Bazoum, an ex-teacher and former interior minister, became president. The economy surged by 12% in 2022, but in the summer of 2023, Bazoum was overthrown and imprisoned by members of his own presidential guard, with a military junta taking power. 4. Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC. Let's talk about the Democratic Republic of the Congo now. Since its independence from Belgium in 1960, the DRC has been plagued by dictatorship, political instability, and violence. About 65% of its roughly 100 million population lives on less than $2.15 a day. Despite these challenges, the World Bank recognizes the DRC's vast potential. It's the world's largest producer of cobalt and a major source of copper, critical for the production of electric vehicles, suggesting a bright economic future. 3. Central African Republic, CR. Central African Republic is paradoxically rich in natural resources like gold, oil, uranium, and diamonds, yet it remains inhabited by some of the world's poorest people. The CAR has struggled with poverty for decades, but made a significant political step forward in 2016 by democratically electing Faustin Archange Touadéra, a former math professor and prime minister. He campaigned on promises of peace and unity between the Muslim minority and the Christian majority. Although Touadéra's election was a hopeful sign for national reconstruction, much of the CAR is still controlled by various anti-government and militia groups. Despite these challenges, the economy has seen some growth in recent years, fueled by the timber industry, a revival of agriculture, and the partial resumption of diamond sales. 2. Burundi. Our second spot goes to Burundi. This small, landlocked country lacks significant natural resources and has been deeply scarred by a 12-year civil war. About 80% of its roughly 13 million people depend on subsistence agriculture, and food insecurity rates are almost twice the average for sub-Saharan Africa. Access to basic amenities like water and sanitation is severely limited, and less than 5% of the population has electricity. Under President Evariste Ndayishimiye, there's been an effort to jumpstart the economy and mend diplomatic ties. In 2022, both the United States and the European Union resumed aid after lifting financial sanctions. However, while the economy is improving, the country faces an inflation rate of about 16% this year. 1. South Sudan. Finally, on number 1, South Sudan stands as the poorest of the poor. Since becoming an independent nation in 2011, South Sudan has been engulfed by violence. Its substantial oil reserves have sadly exemplified the resource curse, with wealth leading to intense political and social divisions, corruption, and conflict. The majority of its 11 million people work in traditional agriculture, but violence and extreme weather events frequently disrupt farming activities. According to the World Bank, over 9 million people in South Sudan needed humanitarian assistance in 2023, an increase from the previous year. The situation remains critical, with ongoing conflicts exacerbating the struggles of an already vulnerable population. Thanks for sticking with us until the end of this video. If you found our deep dive into the world's poorest countries insightful and thought-provoking, please consider giving us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss out on our future videos. If you have thoughts, experiences, or suggestions about today's topic, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Share this video with friends, family, or anyone you think might benefit from this knowledge, because spreading awareness is the first step towards making a difference. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, keep curious, stay informed, and take action where you can. See you in the next video.